Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Ladies Listen Up with my co-host Cherrard. How are you doing today, Mr. Cherrard?
I am good. How are you?
I am good, good, good. I am excited about today's topic. It's an interesting one, but before we get started, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. We are getting some pretty good comments on our topics, Mr. Sherrod, and I think today we're gonna stir them up a little bit more. What you think?
I think so. Because yeah, I think so.
Well, since the topic is married in separate households, let's play badminton today. I'm gonna bat the ball over there. It's not bat then, right? It's okay. Here you go. Here go the serve. It's over there. It's in your lane.
I was perusing the internet, and I just came across Carrie Hilson, um, R&B singer, writer, whatever. And what I came across is she's saying that she needs to live in separate houses from her husband because she still needs a lot of me time. So,
okay.
And the cool thing about it is, I guess, the majority of the women I have spoke to about this,
Mm-hmm.
the majority of them were like, "What's the use of being married? What's the use? What do you get out of it?" But there was a couple like, yeah, I need my time, I need my space, and this and that and the other. I mean, if you have to live in a whole separate address because you need space from this individual, that means you don't really like him that much, you know. And
Right.
and in living in that whole separate address, do you have houses next to each other? Is that still too close? Or I remember watching, I think it was The Lifestyle of the Rich and Famous, and this couple, this older couple, they were married, but they had houses across the street from one another. And
Okay.
that was years ago, and I was like, yeah, that's weird. But now I'm seeing this a little bit more frequently nowadays, and women are saying, I need my space, I need my space. Then why are we getting married? What's the purpose?
Right. That's the look on my face right now, the expression too, because I don't understand. Yeah, because you must. I don't know. I mean, when you first talked about this topic, I was thinking, well,
Excuse me.
that doesn't really make any. It doesn't really make sense. I mean, okay, well, I mean, because if you're married and you're on one accord, then don't you look forward to coming home to one another after a long day, after dealing with whatever you dealt with, being able to share that time together versus okay, I'm gonna make an appointment or I'm gonna knock on your door. I mean, because you said it earlier when we were kind of talking a little bit about it. Then that's why you have a man cave and she has her girl den or whatever you want to call it, and
Yeah,
you
she
go and
shed or whatever.
whatever they call it, whatever you want to call it. That's why that's why you have that. So I mean, I kind of don't really get the point of it. And she only said because she needed her own time. But my daughters, they have it. I believe they have it right. I really like the way that they do with their significant others, husbands. They actually plan time for like they have like 4 different trips or whatever during the year where they go, like they do the girl trip, they do the sister time or whatever, then they do the time with the family and the children, and they do the time with the spouse. And so therefore you are mapping out your own time. You're not suffocating one another, but you really, I mean, I just don't get it. And that's just me. I don't get the I need to be in my own separate house. I need to have my own kitchen. I need to have my own, all of that. I don't understand how do you come together on one accord if you're still everything is so separate.
And see, a question for me, and one of the guys asked was, does she expect him to pay the bills over there too?
Okay.
It's like, okay, we're together, we're married. Do you expect him to pay the bills over there? I mean, do you expect him to come shovel your snow? And you know what I'm saying? It's like we live in separate households, and What if you can't find homes on the same block? So how does that work? I mean, do I get a key to your crib? Do you get a key to mine? Do we just come and go as we please? It's just I just know oh, she's mad today, I gotta leave or something.
See, that's the thing too. I think you just hit on a point. When you're in separate households and then you don't agree with something, then do you go to your house and she go to her house and you shut the door and now you don't have to deal with each other? So now you're not really working it out. You're sweeping it under the rug until somebody get a little. It goes away.
Well, I guess the anger dissipates because the problem is still there.
Right.
But how do you solve anything from separate households?
Right, because you always have the option, okay, bye, and just go on to your own. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't get that part of it because you never really have to solve anything because now I can go and I can create that distance. And I think that's what you're doing, though. You're creating distance with each other. You're not actually coming together and bringing it together on one accord. And, do you schedule, okay, sex at my house tonight and then sex at your house on Saturday? Is that what you can't get a spontaneous, walking past one another and just make it happen? You got to cross the street and come out in the snow and, yeah, I think that creates a lot of distance. I don't know.
I know. I mean, for me, it would be one of those things like, hey, you want to come over? No, it's raining. And I don't feel like putting my shoes on. I just took my shoes off, man. I'm in my slides. I don't want to get my socks wet, walking across the yard. Nah, let's just pass on it today.
No. What, I know, right? So what about adding that other part of it? The part where I think it was Patti LaBelle that she and her husband, they lived in different states. And they were married for, I mean, they were how many ever years or whatever, but they lived in different states with it. And they were married for many, many, many years. What do you think about that?
Just in title.
Just in title.
You're not married because a marriage for me is not the license or the certification. It's the emotionally married together, the physically married, the financially married, the mentally married together. That's it. Those are the things that determine what a marriage is, not that piece of paper. Because I was asking someone else, well, the meaning, what did she say? Lady was talking about the DMX situation. DMX's situation, and I know this is kind of off, but this is about marriages. DMX's situation is his fiance was denied by the court access or to his estate. Even though they were together for 4 years, she still screws, she's not a wife. So a woman comments and says, well, this is why you get married. And then I told the person I was talking to, I said, hey, well, this is the reason why I said marriage is just the way we look at it in Western society. It's just legal. It's just legal. You didn't, I was never told what's different between having a straight up monogamous relationship, unmarried, and the difference between having a marriage that's monogamous and we got a certification besides the legalities of it. So that's what I'm looking at. I don't want to veer too far off the course, but that was my thing right there. So
but we're still no, you made a great point because we're still talking about married in separate households though. So when you talk about marriage and bringing in the topic of what marriage means, I think it's relevant to what we're talking about right now because everybody have their own interpretation of what marriage means because I have a lot of questions about the marriage license or why the marriage license came into place. And also, okay, so I know, and I've talked to different people about this and gotten all kinds of answers. Okay, so what's the difference if back in the day people jumped over the broom in front of their family members and then they were married? Or you have in different states, different states actually, they actually, what do you call it? Honor, common law marriage.
Common law, right?
Right. So I think when you talk about the institute of marriage, you are talking about the two people deciding what that means to them. Aside of everybody else what everybody else's opinion, two people coming together and agreeing upon what it means to them, what they bring to the table, what their expectation is. And this is my whole thing about, about, well, one, dating with intention gets you to that point of marriage,
Right.
because you need to know what it is your partner expects, what you expect, what you're looking for, what your goals are. And I know all this sounds like, like so much, but it's necessary in order to get a healthy outcome for both parties, because oftentimes things fail because of failed expectations, because you have one thing in your mind of what something is or what it could be, and then they have another thought of it, just like you said about, so what if, okay, we married and I'm gonna keep my house over here, you're gonna keep your house over here. But then my expectation, without even expressing it to you, is that I want you to come shovel the snow. I want you, whenever I'm in the mood, to come over here. I don't really want to come over there because it's snowing or it's raining. You haven't talked about all these things. And then people say, why is the divorce rate so high? It's because nobody knows what the other person expects. And depending on what your, what your, bringing up was, and then what you experienced as an adult, and then what you bring, pool all together and say, okay, this is what I want my marriage to be. That's what I think is even more so. What do I want my marriage to be?
Because for me, I've often explained a lot of times that in this society, a man, when a man gets married, and this is like the consensus between them, of a lot of men I've spoken to, we automatically lose a certain amount of power once you say I do. Because you lose a certain amount of power through this society once you have a child. Because if anything goes wrong, look at a certain percentage of your paycheck is automatically gone. You got to look at a certain percentage of the time that you were going to have with your children is gone. A whole lot, you lose a whole lot. When you get married and then it doesn't work out, chances are you'll lose more than the woman would. And I had a woman tell me, well, a lot of men don't even make a lot of money in the first place. Yeah, but the little bit of money that they do have, they lose it. So if you're saying what he had wasn't a lot when he was getting everything, just imagine what he has when they're taking a 35 to 40% of his check from him.
Okay.
So for me, I understand why women want to get married, because like I said, I think it's more of the legality side of it than of anything. Okay, put it this way. You got some women that look at it from the legal standpoint that, hey, if anything happened, somebody can come in and take the house from me, make me get out. Some people look at it from the religious standpoint, right? Hey, marriages are honored in the eyes of God. When I look at marriage is just basically two people coming together with a mutual understanding that, hey, we're together, we have this agreement, and we're going to do this together. It's exclusive. We talk about everything. Communication is a must. It's a key. We have to talk about everything. I don't think I need to jump over the broom. I don't think I need to sign my name on the dotted line to say that I'm married to somebody, because if we're together, we are together. Because marriage is not going to guarantee that we're going to stay together. Marriage is not going to guarantee that I'm going to like you more than I did when we were just dating. You know what I'm saying? Because I know married people whose marriage is a total farce. It's crap. Then I know people that's been together for a long time without being married. You would think they are. So it's just basically, what did you guys come together and what did y'all decide what this was going to be? What I'm saying? So marriage, and I'm not a big religious person. So, well, God recognized marriages. Yeah, okay, whatever. There was no marriage license for Adam and Eve. So why do we have them now?
Right, right. I want to go back to something that you pointed out when you said men feel like marriage is a loss of power.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but does that not go back to the the selection process and getting to know whom you're marrying, because could it not be, I mean, and I understand from that perspective, but just kind of doing a paradigm shift. If you marry and I want to say the perfect person for you, because we know nobody is perfect, but if you married a perfect person for you, that means, and I go back to, the person, because depending on what age you are talking, we've been through experiences, relationships, heartache, heartbreak, whatever. We've been through all of that. But somebody that actually, took the time out and they healed, they know themselves, and then you sit down and you come together and you decide what togetherness means for both of you, and you're both in an agreement, your spirits are in alignment, chemistry is there, and all of that. Then would it not be then not really a loss of power, but a gain, because you're
It
gaining
depends.
a partner?
Oh no, well, see, it could depend on who, and when I say a loss of power, it all depends on who you're with, right? Because you can marry somebody and y'all can just say, you know what, this doesn't work. We'll just go our separate ways. What you have is what you have, what I have is what I have. And no one's trying to destroy the other. But then they say hell knows no fury like a woman scorned. So then that's what I'm talking about, is that woman that says, you know what, you don't want to be with me? Well, I'll make sure that nobody wants to be with you. So I'm going after everything that I can legally get from you, and more so if I can. So it's two different situations and scenarios that can play out, when like I said, when a man says I do, and and then when I say lost power over what he has gained, what he himself has put together for himself, because it's no longer mine now. You know what I'm saying? It's okay, rightfully so. When you're married, everything comes to the pot. But if either of you decide that it's over with, the majority of the pot is going with the woman the majority of the time. I'm not saying that women don't lose sometimes, but the majority of the time women win and they take the pot with them, or at least the majority of it. And the man is caught starting all over. He's built all this stuff with this person, and now he can't enjoy it. Now he has to move on, and he's back with his moms.
And then here we go, the same thing. I mean, and I get what you're saying, and it's, I think I want to go back to Acrimony, the movie. I don't know if you got an opportunity to see it or not, but in where, like, he knew she was a little touched from the beginning, and then the things that she was doing was over the top, and the way she reacted and her emotional instability, but he still just loved her, loved her, loved her. And then, on the flip side of that, when he did come into his own, as they, were building together, but when he did come into his own after she divorced him and everything, it was, he still loved her, and he still said, okay, I want you to still be whole. I'm giving you this, I think 10 million or whatever amount it was. I want you to still be whole. So, I guess I brought that point up to say that, I mean, that could be on either side, where the person says, well, if because I know men that have done that. If I'm not with you, you can't be with nobody else. I don't want you to see you with nobody else. So when you do go with somebody else, you're going to go with nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it could be on either side. So when we come back to, and we're bringing this up about married and separate households, because I keep going back to it, and in all the research that I've done and my personal experience is really, if we do take the time out to bring ourselves together or join ourselves together with a like-minded person, then if you're like-minded, and as you're maneuvering through the dating process or the courtship process or what have you, and you're picking up how this person maneuvers, how this person reacts or whatever, because really, I think what a person, and I'll go to the money thing, what a person is and what their heart is and what their spirit is and how they are, what they are, whether they have money or not, is still that person. But with money, they're just going to do more of it. So I think really getting to know who you are in the presence of, or who you're opening your life up, will help us to actually have better outcomes. I think right now, the way that everything is going, folks are, they're either falling in love with somebody's potential, or they're looking at the outer package, or they're being led by sex, or they're being led by all of this superficial stuff versus, and even what somebody has. And then when they don't have it, I think you read the article about the lady that, the husband is no longer making, whatever, thousands of dollars, but now he's only making, maybe 250,000, where he's used to making $1 million, and now she's ready to go. So that's what I'm saying. It depends on what you're building those relationships on. And I just keep going back to that fact. If you marry like-minded, if you marry somebody, and I say marriage because for me too, it's coming together, helping each other to be better. And if you really are, loving from your heart, then irregardless as to whether you and the person make it or not, you still want to be whole when you leave, and you want them to be whole,
Right.
and that's just, I think that's the minority instead of the majority.
And I agree with you. I think that is the minority. I think when the majority of the time when people do break apart, one of the other wants the other one to suffer. Be it that you say it out loud or say it silently. I just hope he or she doesn't find anybody, or everything they have collapse. But what the thing I'm thinking about, especially when we talk about married in two separate households. So if we divorce, do you get my house? It's like
you married for, Cherrard, I don't understand. That's not coming together. That's like
it's not. It's not.
And we say that marriage is not a business, and I get that part of it. Mm-hmm. But I think you still have to negotiate the terms of what's going to make each other happy. Like, what do you want? What do you want in that relationship? What is your expectations of it? And people grow, and they grow, and all of that. But like communicating it. And I think that's like, it seems like it's so simple, but it seems like nobody is doing it. Nobody is really communicating. They're harboring all this stuff. And then usually, going back to your point, usually it's the person that act a fool that don't want the other person to be all right, because they know they just lost a good thing. Right. And they're mad at you because you won't keep allowing yourself to be in a bad situation. So now they mad because you're not taking their crap no more.
And so now that's what I'm saying. It's like, so now, how would you know how to communicate with one another if you're not with one another? Because when you're living together, see, this is why I say, you know what, in order for me to get married to someone, I want to live with them, right? Because you get to learn their little nuances, their quirks, and this and that and the other. You can tell, oh, wait a minute, she always leaving her panties all over the house every time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come in the house, I'm picking up thongs, I'm picking up the granny panties, I'm picking up these lace boys. Like, whoa, where she get lace? Where she get this from? Who's she wearing this for? She ain't never worn no lace for me. But you're picking up all these, you get to see the person 24/7. Or more so that you're living together, you get to see and you get to learn them. How can you learn someone living apart from them? And then it's like, you've already said, I don't want to be with you, in essence, because we're not living together. I don't want to be with you. I really don't even like you like that. I need me time. Me time so much to where you and your husband are apart. That makes no sense. Y'all might as well just be friends with benefits, so that y'all could do whatever y'all want to, whenever you want to, without no strings attached.
So I'm just wondering, so if I'm gonna cook breakfast, am I cooking breakfast and trudging it in the snow, so by the time you get it, it's cold? What you doing? How do you do it?
I mean, some beef sausages and eggs and grits. You bringing some over? No.
It's gonna go.
No. I'm not walking.
You can
call Uber Eats and they can come pick it up from me, but
So how do you negotiate a relationship like that? I mean, what is your thought on that? And comment, I hope the viewers comment, like, what is your, how do you negotiate that? Like, look, I like you, but we got this paper together, but I want my own house. I don't want you in my house. Like, that's kind of crazy.
And as a man, I'm gonna look at you like, I mean, well then, why am I marrying you in the first place? Because now you're alone. You could be a long distance robber once we break up, because we're eventually gonna break up. Because
why so? Why?
Because for one, like we discussed earlier, that spontaneous love making, me talking to you on the radio, like, just say, hey, I just want to talk to you. I got an idea, bright idea, 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. Hey, you the person next to you, you wake them up. Hey, I was thinking about this. What if we do? Now, you live in a separate house. I gotta say, what is her number again? Oh, let me find her picture. She ain't answering the phone. Who's she with? It's 3 a.m. So it's like that. It's like you don't have that reach. You don't have that like, at least when you're living together, you need that time apart. Like you said, you have your man cave and you have your she shed or your woman's lair. That's your thing. It's like, okay, I know the door closed. She's thinking, she's in think mode. But that shouldn't be the majority of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the man cave, I'm just down there chilling in the man cave. Okay, I'm in the man cave. That don't mean you can't come down there and chill. That's just that. I call a man cave the man cave because when you have the fellas over, I don't want them roaming through the house.
Mm-hmm.
Come and chill in the basement. We all down here watching the game. There's a bathroom down here. There's all the amenities that we need. Bruh, why are you upstairs? My girl upstairs. Why are you going upstairs? You don't need to go up there. You just trying to see some booty. That's what you're trying to see. Bro, you better get your knucklehead. You better get out here, man. You know what I'm saying? So the man cave is just only when fellas come over. Hey, you can come to the man cave. It's no longer the man cave when you come downstairs. It's us kicking it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to be more times where we're kicking it than there will be my fellas over with me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hang with dudes more than I want to hang with my woman. That don't make any sense.
So what? So okay. So I guess, I mean, married in separate households. I'm trying to flip on the other side and see what could possibly be the benefit. It is. It definitely is. I can't think of any. I can't think of any reason for that. I mean, I can't. I've been racking my brain trying to see. I mean, and even the answer that she gave, was that Carrie Hilton? You said Hilton?
Yeah.
Even she just said, I just need my me time. And so my me time, yeah. Okay, so yeah, it's a thumbs down on that one. I don't get that one whatsoever.
It doesn't make any sense, and I know in her own little way, she probably thinks she's saying something clever. I just think these Holly weirdos and these celebrities, I think they do stuff for attention, a lot of times. And then the bad thing about it is everyday ordinary people catch on to this stuff. Like, that's a great idea. Let's make that mainstream. No, idiot. You don't make stupid. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's dumb. It's like you're going to get married. So we're going to go out. We're going to spend all this money on a wedding, right? We're going to do it up, throw a lot of money into it. And then after the honeymoon, you're going to go to your house and I'm going to go to my house.
Who gets the teapot? Who gets the iron?
So all these beautiful gifts. So should they, excuse me, when you bring gifts for 2 houses, please.
See, yeah. Some things just don't make sense.
It don't make sense at all.
Right. So that's a why get married? What was that? Why do we get married? That was Tyler Perry's Why Do We Get Married? I think that's gonna be a hashtag, because this is for sure. why did I get married? And I think they said 1, 2, and I think it's why did I get married again? It's coming up.
It's like, I'm just trying to read this over. I'm trying to read something. I'm trying to read through her article about her to see if anything makes sense. You see, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like it don't make sense. It's like, nah. She says she has been on a mission to normalize dating as you want it to look like. She is also a firm believer in space and maintaining it until you're good and damn ready to have someone infiltrate it. Now, this is her Instagram. She wrote on Instagram. I'm single by choice. I believe in reflecting, growing, and healing in between relationships. I don't Tarzan swing from vine to vine out of fear, loneliness, ego, or validation because I truly enjoy my life by myself. 2, I'm not waiting or looking. The right one will find me when it's time. I'm focused on being the best human I can be. Now, I can agree with that. That's cool. You don't jump from relationship to relationship. But now you're saying, hey, but when I do get a husband, though, I want to live in a separate house because I want that me time.
So so just jumping in on that, I don't think that it's really I want to live in my separate house because I want me time. I think it's because of some past baggage that's being drug along. Because a lot of times people have disastrous breakups and they feel like, okay, I got to stand flat-footed and this is going to be just me. So that means that you still got some healing. You still have some healing to do. And you also still have some healing and some reflecting to do to see what it is that you really want. Because now you're trying to pull somebody else into your brokenness. You're trying to make them conform to marriage in 2 separate households. So that's just my take.
But listen to it. It says, believe it or not, living separately in marriage is becoming more and more common among modern couples. You hear that word, modern couples. You see, these modern couples are full of BS. Anyway, it supposedly gives people all the advantages of autonomy or doing what you want in your own space while maintaining the pleasures of intimacy with your partner. How can you be intimate from somebody that's not in the same house? Hell, if we in different rooms, we can't be intimate. Like, be like, hey, baby, you want to do it?
Go ahead. I think it's just destroying. I think it's destroying the real ideal and the real ideal of marriage or being together. I think it's just is they're trying to redefine it in another space, and it's coming from an unhealthy place. I don't think that that's a healthy place.
And this is what it's saying to back you up. But research points to otherwise a darker motivation. People can end up living apart because they feel anxious, vulnerable, even fearful about living with a partner. And despite living apart together, that's an oxymoron.
That's what I'm saying. Oh man, guess what, Cherrard? I just thought about something. I did my work, so I had to answer. I have to do my work because I'm not playing. Okay, so here it is. This is like, wow. This is a what do you call it? A transparency moment. Yeah, some time ago, after I've been through some rough breakups in relationships, I said I didn't want to get married again, and I didn't ever want to live in a household again with a man. I mean, that was just my boom declaration. Okay. But as I took the time out, and I went through my healing process, and I went through the purging process and getting rid of all of the bad baggage and coming to a healthier place, I can definitely say that this married and separate households, from what I've learned and researched and healed and all that other stuff, is still coming from a place of brokenness. Because once you heal and once you're at peace, then you have confidence that as you move forward, your selection process of whom you allow into your life, and definitely who you decide to marry, is going to be a totally different person. You're no longer marrying or no longer partnering with the same person in a different body.
Thank you. And that's what I find out. That's what I find with most people that say, I'm through with this person, this kind of person. I mean, let's be honest. When I hear black men and women say, I'm through with black men, I'm through with black women. But then when they go to white women, Asian or whatever, they pick the same person that's just in a different skin, right? It's like, you still getting dogged out, dude, but you know what I'm saying? You was getting dogged out before. You're diverse in your dogging now. You know what I'm saying?
until you heal it,
you're still a lame across the board. You're lame now with Asians, white women,
because you're bringing yourself to the mix, and you're bringing the same old thinking, and what is that saying? Doing the same thing, expecting a different result is insanity. So I think we both agree. What was that movie? The movie critics, they used to either everybody give it a thumbs up or everybody give it a thumbs down at the end of the movie. That's what it was. That's what it was. So for today, Mr. Cherrard and Liz are saying
it's a
thumbs down.
No.
It's a downer. Well, sir, is that your parting remarks for this episode of Married in Separate Households?
Yeah. The only thing seriously I would like to say is, only reason you should live in separate household is if you're trying to abstain. And abstaining is evil. It is very evil.
You're gonna make me respond. See, y'all, he picking with me. So now we can open up a whole new podcast. Okay. Listen, okay, my disclaimer, until you go over there and you listen to that podcast about I forgot the name of it. It was intention. Something about intention. It was important, and you just made me forget it because you just declared the abstinence is evil. So no, let me. I can't do it justice, but I'm going to sum it up. I can't do it justice, but I can sum it up. So what is being said in the abstinence arena when you're talking about coming together with someone? The abstinence part is that you are taking the time to get to know your partner, and you're dating with both of you dating with the intention that you're going to end up together in marriage. And we already dispelled what marriage is as far as the piece of paper, but you are holding yourself for your partner. So when you and your partner become one, you're giving them the full potency of yourself, meaning your mind, your body, and your spirit. So you're giving them all of that versus dating here, and spreading your love all around. You're bringing your partner the fullness of you. And that's a totally different level than just physically being together. I'm trying to select my words wisely because I've got some comments on me using certain words.
All I can say with that is, if you want to be potent, gentlemen, grab yourself a smoothie. Buy the Smoothie Time book. And then if you buy the Smoothie Time book, you'll find yourself a smoothie inside of there that will regenerate your manhood quicker.
You know what? We're not mixing that with my Smoothie Time book. We are not mixing your commentary with my Smoothie Time book. But anyhow, everybody, our time has come to a close today. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. We're going to put the information about the book signing July the 10th in the comments, just to let you know how to join via Zoom. We're looking to have a great time as we launch into the next stages of what we're doing here, right? So anyhow, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I am gonna put a plug in. Go on over there to the Dear Future Wifey podcast, and they're gonna teach you a little bit about potency and about abstaining and why it's so important and how good it really can be. Bye for now.